With the violence in Chicago making headlines nationwide, a growing number of aldermen are saying the city's plan to fight crime is failing.
Yeah, 25th Ward Alderman Byron Sigcho-Lopez joins us right now to talk a little bit more about this. Alderman, thank you for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you. We understand that you're going to be doing a protest outside City Hall later this morning. What's the message here? As everybody knows, you have access to the mayor. Why do you need a protest?
Yeah, unfortunately, and I think as it has been the norm for way too long, it has been difficult to have an actual conversation with the mayor's office, a conversation that is based on research-based practices and best practices of what we see on the ground in our neighborhoods. So it has been extremely difficult to have a conversation when we look at the facts. The fact is that a lot of the community policing efforts, there's a research by Northwestern University that's shown no impact on the situation on the ground. We have seen 100 people shot over the July 4th weekend, 18 people dead, 11 of the victims are children. So we owe to the city of Chicago, to the people across the city, and especially in the most vulnerable neighborhoods, to work on research-based solutions, to look at the root causes of violence, to make sure that our families, our children, our communities at large are safe. And unfortunately, we have seen a failure in these policies, and more than anything else, finger pointing and a lack of acknowledgement that the strategy right now is simply not working.
Yeah, seeing those numbers are just heartbreaking and infuriating for so many, and I think we lose focus too. Those numbers are someone's aunt, uncle, child, mom, dad. The mayor says they're trying, the superintendent says they're trying, but clearly those numbers you just discussed, they're getting worse. Things are getting worse, not better. What needs to change?
I think that we need to make sure that we start by having an honest assessment of the situation. We continue to see a superintendent and the mayor's office even using a false narrative and things that are not factual. The excuse that the courts were closed is factually incorrect. The excuse that this is about the bond reform, incorrect. We have to start by acknowledging that we are looking at the wrong places. There's also a fixation on recovery of guns. But we have seen by multiple reports that we're focusing on a wide net of issues rather than targeting on efforts on that population that is at high risk. Looking at the root causes, we have a huge issue of mental health. We have seen that has become a huge issue of public safety. We look at the lack of after-school programming, lack of programming in a park district. And we have, of course, strategies. There's a district where we have seen extremely effective outreach, street outreach and violence prevention programs. Districts where now we have seen a very significant reduction in crime. But instead of investing in these efforts, we continue to see an office, the mayor's office, and a superintendent that is tone deaf to the multiple alternatives of solutions that have been brought up to the floor.
So what's our solution here? Is it time for Superintendent Brown to resign, or the mayor to look at possibly a new superintendent? There's another alderman, one of your colleagues, that is calling for just that. Or is it time for the National Guard or something else?
I think there's two things. It's clear that we need to have a change in direction and leadership. Time after time in our hearings, we have seen a superintendent that does not have the answers, does not understand the issues on the ground, and more than anything else is not willing even to listen. Even a superintendent that has said publicly and in public record that he has not even seen some of these reports and research, but has said publicly that he doesn't agree with it. We need leadership that is in tune with the reality of our neighborhoods and understand the conditions. And another thing that Mayor Lightfoot should do and needs to do immediately is the use of the federal relief funds, the $1.9 billion from the American Rescue Act funding that needs to be used immediately to bring to the communities that are hit the hardest resources to battle violence proactively. We cannot continue to react to the problem. We have $1.9 billion that need to be used for violence prevention, for mental health, for programming for the youth. We need to focus and target on that high-risk population. And I think that we have a urgent call that these resources are needed urgently in our communities. I We cannot continue to wait until the end of the summer to act. That's just not acceptable.
And we know the White House says the Justice Department is going to talk with Chicago soon about the new effort to get illegal guns off the streets. But a lot of people are saying enough with the talk. We need to see some action.
Yeah, Alderman Sigcho-Lopez, we appreciate your time this morning and your insight. And what time is your protest kicking off at City Hall, really quickly?
We're going to have a press conference at 9 a.m. And yeah, I understand that there are groups that are calling for a protest vote. We need solutions. So I'll be in the press conference, and we'll be urging the mayor's office to act quickly and to make sure that we put resources in our communities as soon as possible.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for your time this morning.